I have so many crazy predictions based on the preview for the second episode of the final season that HBO gave us, but at the same time, I feel like their preview was a bit misleading. Warning, there are spoilers for the second episode of Game of Thrones in this video, so you are warned. Okay, so this video, I want to break down the preview HBO gave us for the second episode of Game of Thrones for the final season, and also sprinkle in some of my predictions based off of that preview. If I had to generically guess what we would see in the second episode, probably a lot of talking, a bit of drama, Sansa glaring once or twice, and maybe if we're lucky, a boobie or two. First, we see Jaime in front of the Winterfell leadership table. I'm still not gonna stop calling it that, so fight me. Dany says, "When I was a child, my brother would tell me a bedtime story about the man that murdered our father, and all the things we would do to this man." Now, there are a few awesome things to point out just from the first 10 seconds of this preview. One, I love Sansa looking so damn satisfied. From her perspective, besides Tyrion, the Lannisters were absolute monsters. Yeah, Jaime never really did anything to Sansa to make her really hate him, but it still has to feel good from her perspective to see people getting what she feels they deserve, even without her knowing what Jaime did to Bran. Two, this part here where Jaime looks to the side surprised, I think that is Bran speaking out for him. If Bran had ratted Jaime out, he would have done so by the time of this meeting, and we would have seen a very pissed Sansa. I think the little part of Bran that is left likes the idea of Jaime sweating during this meeting. But not too much because, like Bran said, I'm not Bran. Not really. But I still feel like there's a little tiny part in Bran that's like, you totally deserve this. But of course he's not going to share that because he needs Jaime for some part of his plan. Just like he needed Sam to be the one to tell Jon. Bran knows certain conditions need to be met in order to ensure victory against the Night King. Despite him claiming,
"I don't have time for all this."
Bran is worrying about other things and is very adamant that Jon knows his heritage. So it has to make you think, those two things are actually connected. Why would Jon's heritage matter if the Night King is coming? Because Jon needs to step up and be the last hero, Azor Ahai, the prince that was promised, and accept his destiny and save everyone. He is the protector of the realm. So Bran is working people to fulfill a plan he has to defeat the Night King and his army. We are currently watching that plan unfold. I doubt that plan is Jaime being executed by Dany. I mean, also, we saw Jaime fighting in the big battle at Winterfell, so I doubt they'd show that in the trailer to just fake us out and Jaime dies here. Though, honestly, D&D have done worse, so don't completely rule that out. Also, we know from interviews that Tyrion and Jaime have some heartfelt moments at Winterfell. Hard to have heartfelt moments if you're executed at this meeting, so you know, I don't even know why we're discussing the possibility of him actually being killed here. What I am looking forward to is the reverse situation between Tyrion and Jaime. So instead of Jaime visiting Tyrion while being held in a cell, Jaime's going to be held in a cell or a room, and Tyrion's probably going to visit him. Although, I don't think Jaime's gonna have a trial by combat like Tyrion did in that situation. Although maybe Jaime's trial by combat is fighting in the Battle of Winterfell. Hey, if the gods want you to live, you'll survive. Good luck. Okay, then we get what looks like a pissed off Dany walking by Varys, Jorah, and Tyrion looking on. They look like they tried to talk her out of something or calm her down, and she is just livid. Tyrion definitely looks like, oh shit. If Tyrion pushes too hard to save his brother Jaime, and for Dany not to kill him, I could see Dany getting very upset with him and bringing up the war that didn't go too well against Tyrion's family. And why exactly was that? I thought you were so clever. Alternatively, what if Dany is pushing for Jaime to be executed and others are resisting? Brienne and Tyrion alone wouldn't want to see Jaime dead. Then the Starks might also speak out against it. Jaime came to keep a promise and warn them. That doesn't deserve death. Dany is in a rage that she is the queen and yet she isn't allowed to execute a man, and her bloodthirst probably won't make others comfortable either. They remember the Mad King. Maybe Jon starts to see her more and more in a negative light. As well, does anyone else hope that Jaime has a moment here where Dany is going off on him and finally he just lets her know why he did what he did, like he did with Brienne? I feel like everyone in the room would pretty much understand, and he'd probably get more respect from the Starks. Also, Dany, you should know that your father was batshit crazy, so shame on you. Ooh, and then we see Dany trying to sass that he shouldn't have trusted Cersei in the next scene. Her saying he could mean Jon and or Tyrion, but Sansa shoots back the logical, you shouldn't have trusted Cersei either. I'm leaning more towards Dany is trashing Tyrion and questioning his motives more and more, and Sansa, who respects Tyrion for how he treated her, is sticking up for him and saying, you fucked up too. This isn't just Tyrion. It's going to warm my heart to see Sansa standing up for Tyrion. We also see Dany looking shocked over at Sansa. I don't think the dislike between the two will last that much longer. I think she's going to get over her issues with Dany, and hopefully this shot is misleading and Sansa is actually sticking up for Dany, shocking her. Then of course Sansa learns of Jon's claim and goes back to disliking Dany, or just pushing Jon more for the rightful heir of the Iron Throne. And then Sansa gets Winterfell all to herself. Also, Sansa's armor, sexy as hell. Why does that woman look so good in black and leather? No wonder Jon had a secret affair with her. I kid. Next, we see people getting ready for the big battle and coming of the undead. Jorah has Heartsbane, probably, which is interesting. Why does Sam give up his family sword? Maybe having his family sword is too painful right now. Maybe he doesn't feel he deserves it. Maybe Sam realizes Jorah could use the sword better. There's a lot of reasons Sam could be handing the sword to Jorah, but one of those reasons definitely isn't that Sam is dead. He is not dead at this point. Stop it. Next, Dany meeting Jon in the crypts, and Jon understandably looking upset and conflicted after the big reveal of who his biological parents were. Dany doesn't look very upset yet, so either she doesn't know or she still thinks their relationship is okay, and if they get married, who cares who has the better claim to the throne? When Jon lets her know this thing can't go on any further, then I think we'll see a pissed Dany. We have Arya talking about seeing another face of death. Of course, we know how quickly her bravado goes out the window, and she's shooting a bow and arrow. I'm actually looking forward to Arya using a variety of weapons this season. Of course, some might think this is her practicing for shooting down an undead dragon. We'll have to see. Oh hey, and for whatever fucking reason, it is Tormund letting Jon know the undead will be there by morning. Good job, Bran. You have the ability to warg. You're the three-eyed raven with all his powers, even though perhaps you don't know how to control them all yet, and Tormund had to let Jon know the position of the Night King. Really dropping the ball here, Bran. Then we get a ton of shots we've already seen in the trailers/teasers, and a few new ones. It's just them mostly getting ready for battle. Before you get too excited, we're definitely not going to see the big battle in episode 2. It's just going to be all the lead up to the battle and the drama from that, and then we're going to end the episode seeing this clip. They're gonna blue ball us because, 1, they know they can, and 2, we sort of like it. Just a little bit. We know they'll be launching fire on those trebuchets to kill the whites, and I really like the shot of Jon, Ed, and Sam together on the walls of Winterfell. Just like the Night's Watch days. Except I guess then they were on a much bigger wall that was magical and made of ice. But who's to say the Winterfell walls aren't made of magic either, or woven with it. Missandei kissing Grey Worm before she dies during the battle, because one of them has to die. I feel like we just need to accept that at this point. Jorah with Heartsbane and the Dothraki Unsullied and other forces lining up. Here, Dany looks so upset. She knows about Jon's parents by now, and Jon is rejecting her. If she sees Rhaegal is Jon's now, as Jon said, it was like the dragon knew where he wanted to go, so obviously they've bonded. That is a bigger blow. She loses her lover, her child, and her rightful claim to the Iron Throne. Jon looks shocked about something, and can Jon put on the Stark armor? Or he puts it on right before the battle, but it's a big thing when he does it. You can be both, Jon, and you know it.
You don't need to choose. You're a Greyjoy. And you're a Stark.
And that last shot of Tyrion on the wall at night was so well done. I cannot wait for this night battle. Okay, let's end with my crazy predictions for the second episode. Danny questions Tyrion's loyalties. Jon tells Danny about his biological parents. Division begins. Jon doesn't say he doesn't love her, but says he needs time to think about what this all means. Danny is devastated. Learning she was banging her nephew also probably really turned her on. Sansa sticks up for Tyrion and Jaime. She more so sticks up for Jaime because of respect she has for Tyrion. We see a sex scene between Missandei and Grey Worm. Cersei has more sex with Euron in the hopes of passing off her and Jaime's baby as his. Qyburn updates Cersei on some projects he's working on. We learn House Glover and their people were decimated by the others. Rhaegal is all about Jon and seems to have bonded with him. Arya flirts with Gendry some more. And finally, Tormund gives Brienne the googly eyes. Or aggressively eats food in front of her. But what are your crazy predictions for the second episode? Like, subscribe, and let me know in the comment section down below.